This is Dirshu Mishnah Berurah as we continue learning Siman Nun Hey. Today we're going to be learning Sif Yud through Yud Gimel. And begins the Machaber in Sif Yud Imna Recha Noilid B'Chof Tesla Adar Rishon Mishana Mubaris. Continuing the halachas of when one becomes a gadol. We learned yesterday about the fact that a child needs to be 13 years old, that we are lenient with regard to tefillah b'tzibur, even if we do not know that he has shtei sayros. Today begins the Mechaber in Sif Yud teaching us that if a child is born on the 29th of the first Adar in a leap year, and another child is born on the first of the second Adar, Shnas Yud Gimel Eina Mubares. This is one of those trivia questions. And the 13th year of their life is not a leap year. The one that was born on the 29th of Adar has to wait until the 29th of Adar for him to be considered a 13-year-old, a gadol, to be included in a minyan. And the one that was born after him, he was born on the 2nd of Adar, a few days later, the first of the second Adar, he is 13, when he reaches the first. So here we're learning the important rule that when it comes to tzira for a minyan, explains the Machaber, even though one of the children is clearly older as he was born earlier, but when it comes to a leap year, if the year that they were born was a leap year and the year that turned bar mitzvah was not a leap year, it goes by the date of the month. Says the Ramo, now let's say one was born in Adar and the year of his bar mitzvah is a leap year, like last year. Einoi nase bar mitzvah paskins the Mechaber ad Adar Sheni, that all the boys last year that were born 13 years prior, which is not a leap year, says the Ramah, you do not become a bar mitzvah until the second Adar. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sefkatan Mem Gimel Eina Mubaris. Volim B'Shnas Yud Gimel Gam Kein. Or let's say the year they were born is a leap year, and let's say the 13th year of their life is as well a leap year. As Bevada Rishon, bar mitzvah Adar Rishon. Then certainly we would say the one that was born first will be a bar mitzvah first, Vasheni Ba'adar Sheni. Ad Chavtes La'adar, so one that was born on the 29th of the first Adar becomes bar mitzvah on the 29th of Adar. Demaudite Meshech Chashav Adar Rishon Aled B'Mim becomes Shvat. Explains the Mishnah Berurah. What else? Everyone's wondering. Okay, there's no other choice. What are we going to do? He's born on the 29th. His birthday is on the 29th. Says Mishnah Berurah, no, I would have thought that maybe since the year he was born, there was 2 Adars, so maybe the year of his bar mitzvah, when there's only 1 Adar, what happens? Shvat becomes Adar. Says the Mishnah Berurah, and therefore one would think that maybe once he reaches the 29th of Shvat, he'll become a bar mitzvah, and then it would work out perfectly that he would be bar mitzvah those few days earlier than the other boy that was born in the first of Adar Sheni. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Kamash Malon Delamrinake, and that is the chiddush of our halacha, that we do not bump Adar Rishon back to Shvat, and rather Adar Rishon is considered Adar, and Adar Sheni is called Adar, and it just goes in the day of the month that they were born. Even though the Mechaber already taught us that we include the leap year. You would think that maybe that's only if you're born on a different month. Then in the year of a leap year, you have to wait for your month, even though it's a 13-month year. Kegoyin explains the Mishnah Berurah. Someone is born on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and the 13th year is a leap year. He does not become a bar mitzvah until Rosh Chodesh Nisan. But maybe one would think if you're born Rosh Chodesh Adar, Hava Amina, Denase bar mitzvah Rosh Chodesh Adar Rishon. Maybe you're considered bar mitzvah on the first of Adar Rishon. Kamashlan Adar Rishon Loi Nikra Adar. Says the Mishnah Berurah, that is the chiddush over here, that Adar Rishon is not considered Adar. El Chodesh Iber Mikri, Rather, it goes after the leap year, and therefore have to wait till Adar Sheni. Shari'in Karines and Megillah B'Adar Rishon. V'anan b'Yigim Shamin Shleimim. And you need to have 13 complete years, and therefore those born have to wait to the second Adar. Someone who was born on the first of Rosh Chodesh Kislev, now, what do you do if now there's 2 days of Rosh Chodesh? And then the year of his 13th birthday, it comes out different. Comes out that Cheshvan is 29 days. Kislev is only 1 day Rosh Chodesh. Aval pi kein in Nazvar Mitzvah Rosh Chodesh Kislev. This, of course, we all know, but now we just understand. It says in Mishnah Berurah goes by the day of the month. He was born in Rosh Chodesh Kislev. His bar mitzvah is on Rosh Chodesh Kislev. Rosh Chodesh Kislev Rosh Chodesh. You're born in Rosh Chodesh Kislev when it was 1 day Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh. And on the 13th year, there were 2 days of Rosh Chodesh. Bar mitzvah b'yom rishon de Rosh Chodesh. Then he becomes a bar mitzvah on the first day of Rosh Chodesh. Again, even though in the year he was born, there was only 1 day of Rosh Chodesh, and now in the 13th year, there's 2 days of Rosh Chodesh, he becomes a bar mitzvah on the first day of Rosh Chodesh. Now let's see, Dirshu note 57 over here comes along. It's a little bit complicated. Let's not do that right now. Okay, continuing the Machaber, Sif Yudal, Avarian Shavar Alexir says, Sibur Shavar Aveira. We have someone who did an Aveira. If he's not put in Chayrim, he's allowed to be part of a minyan. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Shavar Aveira Sif Kadin Manvav Kasav Prima Kadin. Tavka Aveira Shavar Lateyavoin. Says the Mishnah Berurah, 1 second. Let's be precise over here. This is if someone got caught up in his desires, in his issues, and he didn't have Aveira. Avalahachis. Someone doesn't have even one entity, even one time, he does something to anger God. Then he has a din of a guy, and he's not mitzaref for a minyan. Of course, this calls into question any chiloini, any non-firm person, if they could be mitzaref for a minyan, and that would really be totally, that would really depend upon the famous machlaikas Chazon Ish, Mishnah Berurah, which Dirshu note 58 over here comes along and tells us the famous Chazon Ish that says they have a din of tinoikish and ishba, and they do not have a din of a momer, and therefore they're yes able to be counted as a minyan. Whereas Ramosha Feinstein famously held that if they're coming right now, Shabbat l'isbal yishvakom lahatel l'servim, maybe we could combine them for Kaddish Kedusha because Lamaisa they're coming to Shol Davin. But says Ramosha, an interesting din, they don't have a din of tefillah b'tzibur, and Ramosha is mistabig ma'adilin yisir from the Krias HaTorah. So this is a not such clear point. Dirshu continues over here with the Arlet Sion that says that they're not mitzaref laminyan, as well as Rav Elyashiv's opinion. That's the Shevet HaLevi's opinion. That someone who marries a guy, someone who's Machal Shabbos, are not combining for a minyan. Rosh Zalman Arbach comes along, and he holds in Shalos Tshuvas Michal Shleima that Sharatzu Ishaloi L'Tzarv L'Minyan L'Chol Davar Shedarach Asara, we cannot combine them for a minyan. But then in a letter in Koifis and Vakshe Torah, he says Makom Asarach. Then what could we do? We could rely that Lamaisa they're like a Tinok Shenishba, and even though they know a little bit, and therefore they could combine for a minyan. So it's a very weighty issue, and we'll leave it at that. Of course, it would not be L'Chatzchila. Perhaps we could say B'Shas Adchak there would be Makam to be Mekel. And let's conclude today's shir with Sif Yud Beis. Minoda, someone who's put into Chayrim, Ein Mitzaref and Osel Chol Davar Shetzarech Asara, is not Mitzaref for a minyan. Aval Mutl Esval Beis Knesset Shusham, he's allowed to daven in a shul, Elim Kein Bershel Achmer Alav Bekach, unless they decided that part of his Chayrim is to not allow such. Says the Mishnah Berurah, I skipped the Mishnah Berurah Sefkat Mem Zayin, in which the Mishnah Berurah said this person can only combine for a minyan if he was not put in Chayrim Lo Niduhu, Afilu Aveira Shechayev La Misa, even if it's an Aveira that he's obligated the death penalty Vatam, still he can be called part of the minyan. Why? Yisrael. A very important rule, regardless of any averos, regardless of any issues. Lamaisa, one never loses the status of being a yid. Vekat anikra karayim, those who are called the Karaites, they do not hold up Torah Shabbat Peh. They do not count in the minyan. There's no Mishnah Berurah on Sifkat in Yud Beis, so let's actually go for Sifkat in Yud Gimel. Says the Mechaber, now this is a very important Sif. World of Corona, we dealt with this extensively. Where does the minyan have to be? Does everyone have to be in the same area? Says the Mishnah Berurah, all 10 Jews have to be in one area and the Shliach Sibur with them. If you're standing in the doorway towards the outside, as we turn over the page over here, let's find it. Here we go. Tahainu. What does that mean? On the thickness of the door, an outward that if you close the door, you're going to be outside. You're not considered to be in the same rishos. And the truth is, I didn't realize how lengthy the Mishnah Berurahs are over here. So we're going to pick it up from the Mishnah Berurahs in Sifkat Gimel and the next year in Mirtzah.